What's up, guys? It is the man with the hottest wheels, Mr. Amazing C.T. Berry, coming at you with another episode of Over the Top Rope. So, this week's Over the Top Rope will feature the recap of last night's NXT No Mercy event, and I will also talk about what happened with me last night at WVWE's Fall Mania show. I think that's what it was called. But anyway, so my boy James Enoch, we were supposed to have a tag team match, him and Jacko versus the Revolution, which is Wildcat and Alan Platinum. But after the street fight with Brock Hudson, James Enoch was injured and could not compete last night. But that didn't stop your boy, Mr. Amazing C.T. Berry, showing up. And Brock Hudson decided he was going to come out. Keep in mind, he apparently has a concussion. But I think that's a lie, just like everything that comes out of Brock Hudson's mouth. And decided he was going to talk trash about James Enoch, Paul Eno, and myself, which is the Wheelchair Mafia. But I think he was a little surprised to see that I was still there, and I had no problem backing up my boys. And the beautiful crowd of Parkersburg, West Virginia, our beloved WWE fans, gave Brock what he deserved, and that is Dominic Mysterio type booing. The guy could barely get a word out of his mouth. Oh, man. But I said what I needed to say to Brock Hudson. Go and watch that video. And, while Brock Hudson's at home nursing his little boo-boo, crying that he, has a concussion, I think he's just mad because he has no friends, nobody in the locker room, no fan likes him. So I think he's just going to sit at home and cry for a while, which is fine by me because that means we don't have to suffer by seeing his ugly face in WWE. But, James Enoch will be back for the next show, which is October 14th. And him and Jacko will take down the Revolution and inch one step closer to the new WWE Tag Team Champions, the Syndicate. Now, Nate Steele did warn me that we're coming for your boy. That's fine. Go right ahead and do it. Because I assure you both that James Enoch and Jacko will be ready, and the Wheelchair Mafia will have those shiny, beautiful WWE Tag Team titles in our possession. But enough about Syndicate. Certainly enough about Brock Hudson. Let's talk about the banger show that was NXT No Mercy. And we start out with a match between two of the heaviest hard hitters in the WWE, that being Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. Now, these guys have been going at it for a while. Bron Breakker took out Von Wagner on NXT. And, Baron Corbin decided to come out and give Bron Breakker his respect. And Bron Breakker was just like, screw you. I don't need your respect. So on the final episode of NXT Before No Mercy, Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin rolled out all over the Performance Center. And these two got their fight started underway, before the match even started. And these guys went back and forth, and, Bron Breakker hit a spear on Baron Corbin on the outside and was about to put, Baron Corbin away. I'm not sure if he was going to use the Steiner recliner or that overhead power slam that he does. But Robert Stone, which is the manager of Von Wagner, decided to make his presence known, jump up on the top rope, try to crossbody Bron Breakker, but Bron Breakker caught him and threw him onto a pile of security guards. And then when Bron Breakker turned around, Baron Corbin was able to connect with the End of Days for the 1, 2, 3. Now, I really think, this solidifies Bron Breakker's end of his run in NXT, and we will finally see him on the main roster. But as I always say on this show, we shall wait and see. In the next match, we had Trick Williams versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio for the NXT North American title. Now, Trick Williams, he became the number one contender after he picked up a victory over Joe Gacy on NXT. And then he went into Shawn Michaels' office and said, I want added to the triple threat match. So, Trick Williams defeated Dragon Lee and Tyler Bate and Axiom. I had to think who was in the match. And then Dragon Lee was also appointed the special guest referee. So, Dom tried to do, typical Dirty Dom things, which was try to cheat and win. Dragon Lee and another official got knocked down, but ultimately Trick Williams was able to connect with that flying knee. Dragon Lee came to, counted the 1, 2, 3, and we have a new NXT North American champion in Trick Williams. Now, I think Trick Williams absolutely deserves this. I mean, it shows that he's not just a lackey. He's, really getting over with the crowd. And, he loves to whoop that Trick. God, that is the most catchy catchphrase in the wrestling business right now. But on to another topic. We had a fatal 4-way tag team title match. We had the D'Angelo family defending against Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, the Creed brothers, and relatively new team Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. Now, all these guys met with the D'Angelo family at like a dinner table at some restaurant, and D'Angelo family was like, you know what, we're just going to defend the titles against all y'all. So, and that's exactly what happened. But during the start of the match, Tony D'Angelo landed wrong on his knee and apparently injured his knee and had to be helped to the back. So, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, had to do a lot of the match by himself, but D'Angelo came back, to fight alongside his underboss, And, they were able to connect with Bada Bing, Bada Boom on Lucien Price and pick up the win. So, the D'Angelo family is still your NXT Tag Champs. Now, the next match we had was Butch versus Noam Dar for the NXT Heritage Cup. Now, a few weeks ago, NXT announced the Global Heritage Cup Invitational Tournament where several athletes from around the world fought each other in a tournament similar to the New Japan Cup. And the winner of that tournament would face Noam Dar in NXT No Mercy for the NXT Heritage Cup title. Now on NXT, the winner of Group A, Butch, and the winner of Group B, Joe Coffey. I may have that backwards, but nonetheless, they were the final two. And Butch was able to pick up the win on Joe Coffey and become the number one contender for the NXT Heritage Cup title. Now, Noam Dar, he got a cheap fall in the start of the match after Mensa, hit Butch, and then Noam Dar was able to connect with the Nova Roller. Butch was able to connect with the bitter end later in the match to pick up a fall on Noam Dar. And then, Butch had Noam Dar in a submission, getting ready to snap his fingers. And Gallus came out and took out Tyler Bate, which is Butch's British strong style partner. And Tyler Bate was in Butch's corner for the match. And Butch seen that and dived over the top rope, took out Gallus. And then when the ref won looking, Joe Coffey came in the ring, hit his best for the bells clothesline on Butch, and Noam Dar was able to pick up the win. So I doubt this is the last we see of British Strong Style and Gallus. I wonder if they'll bring back Trent Seven to even it out. That's what I'm wondering, if they will or not. I'm not sure yet, but as I always say, we shall see. And then we had an absolutely awesome NXT title match between Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. And oh my God, this was just like the Great American Bash. At that show, those guys tore the house down with Carmelo picking up the win, and they just picked up right where they left off from Great American Bash. And, just absolutely destroyed each other in the ring. There was blood. These guys literally beat the tar out of each other. And, Ilya Dragunov, he had to use 3 of those deadly H-bomb forearms. One like he normally does, another one from the second rope, and then after Mello missed with nothing but net, Ilya climbed up to the top rope and nailed him with another H-bomb to pick up the win, and Ilya Dragunov is the new NXT champion. Now, Ilya Dragunov's had a long road in the NXT title. He was NXT UK champion, but had to relinquish the title due to injury. And then when NXT and NXT UK combined, Ilya was not able to pick up the NXT title. He was defeated by champion at the time, Braun Breaker. And now, after, hitting his head on the NXT title after taking out Trick Williams at Great American Bash, and Mello able to hit nothing but net for the win. Mello and Trick, they split up recently. Trick wanted to go out on his own. So, Mello is by himself, and this time Ilya Dragunov was able to pick up the win and become the NXT champion. But honestly, guys, I mean, those guys are 1-1, and after the 2 barn burners they've put on, I'm sure WWE is going to give us one more match between the 2 of them. So, like I say, we shall wait and see. And then, in the main event for the NXT Women's title, we had an Extreme Rules match between Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton. Now, this match, oh my gosh, was an absolutely phenomenal match. And, man, these ladies just tore the house down. And, you know, it even went in the crowd. And I believe it was announced that it was Becky Lynch's designer, like, who designs a lot of her costumes, had a chain and gave it to Becky, and she hit Tiffany with it, which I think that is what busted Tiffany Stratton open. And, you know, was able to, you know, and these ladies, I mean, tore the house down. I mean, they threw everything they had at each other. I mean, Becky even connected with a manhandle slam on the outside, but that still was not enough. But, you know, after hitting a manhandle slam on what I believe was steel chairs, Becky was able to pick up the win. Now, I'm sure there's going to be people that are like, oh, Becky just buried Tiffany. What did Becky win? Nah. I mean, Tiffany looked like she belonged. I mean, she is the perfect example of a WWE homebrewed star that has the talent in the ring. And, I mean, even though she was defeated, man, Tiffany looked good out there tonight. And I am so looking forward to her future in the WWE. But I'm actually not mad that Becky is having the title a little bit longer, because as over and as popular and as good as Becky Lynch is, you know, she can help elevate other women. Now, I don't really have a prediction on if she's going to defeat Tegan Nox tonight on Raw or what. I'm not sure. I mean, it would be cool considering all that Tegan's been through in her career with injuries and then being released and then, you know, coming back. So, you know, again, we shall wait and see. But anyway, guys, you know, I tried to make these videos a little bit shorter. That way they're not that long. So, oh, and breaking news. You know, I wasn't going to talk about WrestleDream with AEW because I didn't watch it. You know, I'm only trying to cover shows that I actually watch and can really give my opinion on. But breaking news, Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge in WWE, is now in AEW. You know, I mean, I'm a little surprised. I didn't know if he would jump, but, you know, this week with Jade Cargill going to the WWE, you know, anything can happen in the world of pro wrestling. But, you know, I am happy for Edge. Because, you know, he gets to go out with his best friend, Christian. And not to mention the people that helped train him to come back, FTR, are in AEW as well. So, you know, I wish Edge the best in AEW. And I hope, you know, he has a phenomenal career in AEW. You know, I agree. I think he's proven everything that he's needed to prove in the WWE, and I wish him the best in this next chapter. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Over the Top Rope. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subs by the end of the year, so fingers crossed that happens. But anyway, guys, I will see you next week. We will be talking about TWA, Nightmare in New Haven, and WWE Fastlane next week. So please stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys in the next one.